Hey everybody, it's Sophia Wren, and today I have a special guest, Kendra Kantor, author of Dear Self, and she's going to be here to talk about her new book, which just came out in June 2014. And I'll introduce myself first. My name is Sophia Wren, and I'm a writer, an intuitive counselor, a divine feminine empowerment coach, and I'm also the creator of the Sacred Armor e-course, Creating Better Boundaries for Sensitive Women. And I'm so honored to have this fun guest today. And her book is a mixture of poetry and art and all kinds of good stuff, and she'll be talking about it today with us. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about you, Kendra, if you'll share with our viewers today.
Hey. Hi, I'm Kendra. I'm a wellness mentor and guide, and I help creative women embrace their self-discovery and improve their mental health wellness. I've had depression and anxiety most of my life, and so this is something that I'm so passionate about and helping other women fight through their battles and get where they want to be. And my book is kind of an extension of that. It was my own personal journey and my own kind of way to work through my own demons and improve my self-esteem and get all my feelings and thoughts out. And I'm so excited to have published my book, and I'm just super excited about it to be here. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a big accomplishment, and that's fantastic. So yay! That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing and being here today. And I have some questions for you because I want to know all about your book. So, could you tell us a little bit more about the topic of your book? Is there a general theme to it?
Yes, the book is called Dear Self because I did. It actually started in, I think, November of last year. I started working in an art journal, and I was kind of working with the theme of writing myself poems and notes of motivation and writing kind of things that would remind me later on of where I'd been, where I'm going, things to help me get through where I was and remind myself of where I'd been. And then I finished it in early January, and I said, I really like what I've created. And I started looking back through my other journals that I'd done in the last 2 years, and it was actually a topic that I'd been doing without knowing it. So I was like, I need to put this all together and make a book out of it and share it with the world because this is something that I think will help a lot of people, even though it's so personal and so much my story. But I think a lot of people will resonate with it. So that's that's where it came from.
Oh, I love that. And I think it's really beautiful that you didn't, you know what I mean? Like you recognize that it could be something people could relate to
Hmm.
because a lot of us feel like we're all alone, and it's when we can make that final connection that I feel like so much healing occurs, at least for me as a writer too.
Yep.
So that's really awesome. I'm glad that you're putting it out there. Cool. So, oh, I wanted to know, so you mentioned that, you had started to do this writing on your own. Was there any certain inspiration that started that for you that kept you going to do it over the long term?
Um, let's see. Well, in November, have you heard about the sketchbook project? I had that journal that I was doing where you like join for $25, then you do a sketchbook and you send it in, and they show it all over the country, kind of in a gallery. And that's what I was working in, and I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to send this in or not, but I'd really like to finish this. I'd actually just gotten out of the hospital. I was in the hospital for 12 days with really terrible mono, and so I was like, okay, I need to get back into the swing of things. I need to be creative again. My anxiety and depression were like really bogging me down, and so I just knew I needed something to help me get back into a space of being okay and working and being creative again. So um, I actually I work usually 3 days a week, and so every time I would work, I'd say, okay, I'm gonna come down and do 30 minutes in my journal, and then that's it for the day. And it was really surprising how I've been an artist for a long time, but I haven't really stuck to something like a daily or a weekly task. And when I finished it and when I didn't have anything to work on, I really noticed a difference in my mood and the productivity I had in my work after, later on, because I was like, wasn't getting that creative time. And so that really helped me stick to it, knowing that, the creative time was super important to my wellness personally and my productivity in my business. So.
Wow, yeah. Sure. That was really cool. Do you feel like that you got, you were saying that it really helps your business and your productivity to have your creative expression. Did you see that happen?
Yeah, definitely. Even now, I can tell when I don't take 15, 20, 30 minutes in the before I start working to even just, you know, do a random watercolor on a page, not even anything super finished, just get my hands dirty, get in that space of, on the art and be creative. If I don't do that, I show up at my computer and I'm like, I don't know what to work on. I don't know where my goals are today, and I just feel less myself, I guess, because I feel less connected with who I am and what I'm doing.
Cool. I love that. I think that is, I wish everyone did that as part of their workday. That's so cool. Oh man, that sounds awesome. Good idea.
Yeah.
So, so I wanted to ask you a little bit about your challenges because a lot of people out there want to write a book. I think there's something like 50% of people or something like that like want to write a book one day, and I know I want to write a book one day, and it
Hmm.
is very challenging to
Yeah.
get to the finish zone. And so you've already gotten it, you already published it, and now it's out there, and now you're talking about it, and you are like way ahead of most of the being there, and you did that since November, so that's only
Yeah.
been like 8, 9 months or something. So I'm really interested in your challenges and how you overcame them.
Um, I think there's definitely a different set of challenges when you're doing a poetry and art book versus a fiction book. Because I'd love to write a fiction book someday too. And, I've started a bunch over the years, and, it's just a different set of challenges. But I think, my biggest challenge, it wasn't actually writing it because, like I said, most of the poems were very intuitive and I just sat down and wrote them. I didn't do any editing on the poems. I just let them be what they needed to be. And I've been doing poetry since I was probably 10 years old, so it's become like an instinct of how to write, and I know where I'm going with it. So that wasn't the hard part. It was more figuring out who I wanted to self publish it with, and then working with the technical side of that because I've had to, I think, do 3 or 4 revisions on it to make it acceptable for the global distribution because the margins need to be like very, very specific. And I have full bleed pages here. I actually have a book you can see. I have the art is, if you can see, like full bleed through 2 pages. So
Okay. Yeah.
fix doing the right settings for that versus the pages where it's the writing and the margins on that are very technical and very different. So I think that was definitely the biggest challenge I had with it.
Cool. Okay. So did you figure all that out yourself, or did you
um,
hire someone?
my husband is very like math and technical minded, so he helped me figure it all out. And I actually still have one more revision to do. I think it is available on my website to buy and on through the self publisher, but it's not on Amazon quite yet because I'm still working through those. But it's definitely something that once I get it down, I think future books will be a snap because I'll know what I'm doing.
Cool. And what was your the first company you published through?
I used lulu.com.
Okay, I've heard good things about them.
Yeah, I
Cool.
really liked it. It was easy to do and easy to use, so it's good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What about from a personal note? Because you said you were sharing things that were personal that you didn't intend to originally share with anyone. So did any challenges come up for you in deciding to put that out there?
Um, I don't think so because I'm very honest on my blog. It's really I try to be helpful for other women and share my story because I remember being that 13-year-old girl with depression, feeling like absolutely no one understood me and no one had gone through it before. And so I try to be as open and honest as possible so that other women, other teens go to my page and are like, "Oh my god, they get me. This is, I feel exactly the same thing." And it's incredible how much just knowing that one other person out there gets you because that even helps me now as a mother. I have a 2-year-old son, and when I go ask mom groups on Facebook, "Oh, this is happening with us. Has anybody else dealt with this?" And I get a flood of women saying, "Oh, we've gone through exact same thing," and it just helps so much to feel relief that somebody else is understanding what you're going through. And so, actually sharing the words and the poems, I don't think it really was a challenge for me at all.
Cool. Wow. I kind of want to give you like an air high five right now because I think that this is so cool that, I'm like, I want to read your blog and be your blog friend now. Um, I definitely like I used to do a lot more personal stories on my blog, and sometimes I kind of miss that, but I've been sort of channeling that into my writing to try to
Hmm.
publish my book. So I haven't done it as much, but since from when I was a teenager, I've been doing that too. So I'm like, we're two peas in a pod. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. And so, what did you find easy about it? What did you find easy about putting your book together or creating all of the art or the poetry? What was easy?
I think the easy part was really just kind of writing it. There were very, very few days where I showed up to the page and was like, I don't know what to write about or how to express myself. There's a couple days I felt, oh, I really don't want to work today on my journal because I just want to jump in and do my business because I only get to work for 2 hours at a time because of my son. So it's really condensed time. So to take that half hour in my journal, sometimes feels awesome and sometimes feels like a chore, but when I actually sit down and do it at the end, it flows out really well. And so I never that was pretty probably the easy part. It just kind of flowed out what I needed that day, and you know.
Cool. That's awesome. So it's sort of like a brain dump. Like you kind of got to clear out your head.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, nice. And how long have you been doing the visual art?
Um, let's see. I started I don't know, probably my whole life I've been an artist, but I was a photographer first. I started that when I was like 12 or 13. I've been doing art journals since probably 16 or so. It's been since 2010, I think, that I've been working with this specific style. It's taken me a long time. Here, I'll show a couple pages. And a lot of, can you see that? Is it okay?
Yeah, it
Um,
looks pretty. I like
I've
that.
done, yeah, it took a long time to get past like feeling I had to do similar things to other art journalers out there. I don't know if you or anybody listening has seen other art journalers, but a lot of the big themes people do is very heavy, very mixed media, and the style looks great for them, but it never meshed with what I was doing. So it took me a while to figure out that I needed it to be more minimalist and just not heavy on the art as much. I try to do a lot more, the words are really the focus sometimes, and so
Cool.
yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. I have long time ago I had some art journals that I had kind of been when I started to get more creative. I think it was about 5 years ago I started reading Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain and The Artist's Way and
Yep.
getting really into all that stuff and just letting myself go and just sort of reminding me almost of like that time when I was expressing all of that stuff and how cathartic it was,
Mhm.
to show people and to like let it out and um, it's just so beautiful because I think that the art and poetry it really allows you ground to express things that like if you're like say in an office or you're in a school presentation or something, it's not necessarily like rewarded for you to be showing your emotions or bearing your soul, and we don't always have a lot of spaces nowadays to do that. And so I think that like art and poetry is it's so healthy to have that release and to to have like a place where someone can hear you and see you and respect you for your unique experience that you're bringing to the table right now, and it's not about like, oh well, you need to pack it in and get back to your test. It's more like, oh wow, you're a human being and that touched me and cool, wow, I know who you are now. And
Yeah.
I think it's really great that you put this together, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And so what are you up to next?
I'm planning to do another book, hopefully by the end of the year. I'm gonna do it's kind of really in the rough draft. I haven't even started it yet, really. I just have the thought of it, but more about it's gonna be more of a memoir, less art in it. About just dealing with anxiety as a mother and a wife and a student and a daughter and all that kind of stuff together. So it's going to be a mix of probably essays and poetry. So I'm looking forward to that. I actually also created a free workshop, online workshop based off of my kind of based off my book, that I think I'm going to run live again in August. It's called Intro to Art Journaling for Your Wellness. So it's over 10 days, 2 weeks, and I do prompts and talk about how to use your art journal to improve your self-esteem, to improve your wellness. I think journaling in any form, but especially art journaling, is like the essential tool to help you get where you need to be in your wellness and in your life. So I'm really excited about running that again.
Nice. That sounds great. I hope that you keep me informed about both your memoir and your class, and I'll try to help spread the word about that. That sounds really cool. Cool things. Fantastic. And so who do you think should, grab a copy of your book and have it at their home? Do you think it would be a good gift? Do you think it would be really inspiring? And what's your vision for who should have a piece of this art?
I think that it'd be a great gift for teenagers or young adults going through depression or a slump in their life, or just kind of working through things, because it shows that there are a few poems that are kind of really angsty and mean, but then there are some that I talk about how you can get past all that, and how to deal with things. And so I think I work mainly with women, but I think it'd probably be a good book for men too. But anyone who is going through anything rough and just needs to know that it's okay, and that other people are going through this too. And I think it'd actually be kind of a weird coffee table book, but because of the art, I think the art looks really good. It's luster pages, full bleed pages. So um, you know, I love anybody who likes art and poetry and all that.
There's so many different pictures in there. How many pages is that?
There are 30 art journals and poems.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool. I like it. It's I've this on your page, your website, you have on Kendra Cantor, you have a page all dedicated to your book, and I remember there's a video of you flipping through the
Yes.
pages. When I first saw that, I thought, wow, that feels kind of good. Like there's something about that. I was like, those look like nice quality paper. It looks, it's got all those different pictures. Just flipping through it, I just felt was like just very cool. I don't see a whole lot of books like that on the shelves at, Barnes and Noble and things like that, and I'm not sure why, but I'm glad that you're making them and putting them out there, and awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about you or your book or anything you're doing?
Um, let's see. What am I working on right now? I'm working on a free summit with a group of women that'll also be in August. That I'm going to be talking about the 5 secrets that help you survive during a slump. So that's kind of a similar theme to wellness, and hopefully that'll be good. It's all going to be all updates should be on my website at kendracantor.com, and you can get the book on my sales page at kendracantor.com/dearself. The videos on there, where I show the book a little bit, and I read 3 different poems from it as a teaser. There's a ton of more pictures, a few reviews. There are 2 different ways to buy the book. You can actually get a signed copy, plus I'll create one-of-a-kind art for you, and
Wow.
personalized art for you too. Or you can buy it from lulu.com, and the links are on there as well. So
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I mean, who wouldn't want a personalized
yeah.
art? As part of the package. That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to checking out your site and everything you do. And I feel like we're Insta friends right
Yeah.
now.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And next in the author interview is Sherry Ways, who is talking about sacred spaces, creating feel-good spaces, and using feng shui and other principles. And until then, you guys can enjoy other videos on my YouTube channel, Sophia Wren, and also my site is sophiawren.com. I give lots of things away in my blog, lots of tips and techniques for highly sensitive women who are struggling with uncertainty, overwhelm, and drain, and might be a business trying to go into business or their creative arts and get paid for that and feeling stuck. So come check me out. I'll help get you to a peaceful place. And thanks again, Kendra, because you're awesome and your book is awesome, and can't believe you did all that within a year. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
really cool. So you're an inspiration. You rock
Thanks.
on. Thanks so much. See you, everybody.